Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. Between now and Christmas, what we're going to do is on Monday and Wednesday, I will do the normal 5 good news stories. On Tuesday and Thursday, Aster Ireland is going to help out. She's going to do 5 good news Christmas stories. So you'll still get me twice a week, and then you get Christmas stories twice a week. That starts tomorrow. How about this story? Some tourists were stuck on a plane. The reason, they didn't have enough pilots. Michael was hoping to fly to Spain with his wife and son, and found out that the ground delay was because they were missing a pilot. Luckily, Michael is a pilot. He called the bosses at the plane company and volunteered to take the plane the 1,500 miles or so. The company agreed, and Michael made an announcement. This is the captain speaking. My wife, who's on row 15 with my little boy. Hopefully he's asleep by now. I should keep it down or else I'll get told off. She rolled over and punched me in the back of the head and said, "Our flight's delayed by 2 hours because they are -1 captain for the flight." So just before we went through security, I thought, I wonder if this is worth a phone call. I think it is, because I'd like to go on holiday. I phoned the airline and said, "Hey, I'm standing in the terminal doing nothing. I have my license with me, got my ID with me, and I'd very much like to go on holiday. If you need a favor, I'm standing here ready to go." They said, "Would phone you back." 38 seconds later, they phoned back and said, "Please," with a big cherry on top, "can you fly the airplane? Please fasten your seatbelts and prepare for takeoff." Billy Joel has adopted a dog. Bucky, the French bulldog. Billy shared the news on Instagram, writing, "A year and a half ago, we lost Rosie. We were waiting for the right rescue for our family." Billy shared that the gray puppy was at a shelter in San Diego with a bad case of mange when he was rescued by Road Dogs, who are a California-based rescue dedicated to rehabbing and rescuing medical bulldogs and puppies with birth defects. Road Dogs rescued the puppy and nursed him back to health, Billy says, and now he's part of our family. Good news, they caught the lion. A lion was prowling the streets of an Italian seaside town for several hours. Where'd the lion come from, Johnny Mac? He had escaped from a local circus. The mayor told residents to stay home. Good advice. While police and circus staff combined to work together to try and catch the lion was eventually sedated and captured. Ronnie is responsible for the animals at Ronnie Roller Circus. He said Kimba the lion posed little danger. He met with people in an environment he wasn't used to, and nothing happened. He didn't even for a second have the instinct to attack a person. Ronnie's fear was that someone could have hurt the lion out of fear or excess enthusiasm. The mayor commented and said, "I hope this episode can stir some consciences and that we can finally put an end to the exploitation of animals in circuses." Meanwhile, if you're walking around a cobbled street in Paris, you'll find a tribute to one of Melbourne, Australia's most beloved identities. A tiny stencil artwork on a building depicts the back of a man in a check shirt holding a giant carrot. If you're from Melbourne, you know what this is. Carrot Man calls inner city Melbourne home. Carrot Man's real identity is Nathan. Nathan and his carrot have become a beloved fixture on the inner streets of Melbourne for more than a decade. He's also popular on the internet. On Reddit, subforums feature photos of Nathan alongside the carrot, with revelers in a local nightclub or reading a book on the train. And there's an Instagram page titled, "Where is Carrot Man?" How did this start? Well, Nathan decided to carry around a big object around town to make it easier to socialize after he moved from Brisbane to Melbourne. In 2019, he shared that he had initially tried a giant turnip, and carrying it home, he noticed the joy it brought to passers-by. He also tried a giant octopus and his favorite, a squid, but neither got as good a reaction as the carrot. So I just kept carrying the carrot around because it was the most successful thing at making people smile. Recently, 2 women visiting from Japan were in a drugstore. One burst out of the change room excitedly, calling a friend over, pulling out her phone. She shared a photo of Carrot Man she had taken earlier in the day. Carrot Man says, it shows it's cross-cultural. All right, good news. If you want to live a long time, you should try this remote Greek island. The 99-square-mile island of Akaria claims to have more nonagenarians than any other place on the planet. As you know, anthropologists have long pointed to fresh, healthy Mediterranean diets rich in fish and olive oil as a way to live long. The so-called Blue Zone, somebody's been watching Netflix, describes the regions dotted around the world where populations are thought to live the longest. The researchers found that most of the oldest islanders reported daily physical activity, healthy eating habits, no smoking, rich social lives, midday naps. And what was the good news, Johnny Mac? Most of them claim to still be sexually active. That's your 5 good news stories for today. Tomorrow, Aster will have 5 good news Christmas stories, and I'll be back on Wednesday with more of this style. If you like the show, tell a friend about it. Maybe they'll like it too. You can follow it for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Pocket Cast, wherever you get your shows. We'll be back tomorrow.